We work so you can play.
Power weapons. So I'm going to be doing the power weapon green in this case, so it will complement the base but also his armour. There's going to be 4 stages, and it will be a layering stage, a highlight, and then what I would call a super highlight, but because it's on a flat surface it gives a slightly different effect. So let's get on with it. This is Dark Angel's green for the base coat, Snot green as the first layer, Scorpion green as the first highlight, and then Skull white as the final super highlight, and that really gives it that electric feel when there's bits of skull white. So the first stage then is to base coat the sword with Dark Angel's green. Now it's very slightly watered down, but I've only ever needed to have a very strong base layer of Dark Angel's green, and literally whack it all over the sword. And it's such a dark and well covering colour that you'll find that this stage is the easiest. To get that out of the way so it doesn't try and focus on anything else. So that's that first layer done. I'm going to go ahead and let this dry. I don't think you guys need a particularly good close-up of the base coat, and we'll come back and do the second stage. Stage 2 of a power weapon is to apply the first layer. In this case I'm using Snot green. You can use Goblin green, although I find using Snot green gives it a little bit of a deeper shade in between the areas of the lightning effect on top. So using a standard brush, the Snot green's been watered down 2:1, just as all my other paints. And what we're trying to do is create a random lightning pattern to simulate the force that this weapon contains. It's crackling with energy. So with a small amount on the brush, I'm going to start by painting thinnish lines. You can get it to have a good focus. There we go. In a random fashion. So now we're going to start adding brightness to the lightning effect. I'm going to use Scorpion green, or Vallejo Scorpion green I think, and this is going to be painted using the 10-0 brush inside the lines of Snot green that we've just painted. So as usual, watered down 2:1 with a little bit of flow improver in it, and literally going to paint just inside those lines. Tiny bit on the brush. So even if it takes a few layers, you really want the Scorpion green to stand out, because that's what it will give the bright effect. final stage for power weapons that I like to add on to all my models is some skull white on the lightning effects. We're only going to paint the skull white where 3 or more of the lines of the lightning meet. So in this case, on this side of the blade there might be 1, 2 bits of skull white. On this side there'll be 3. So using the 10-0 blade again, this skull white's been watered down, maybe a little more than 2 to 1, just so it's more controllable. I'll see if I can just add a touch where those lines meet, like that. Really makes the lightning pop. And that is the completed power weapon. Now this can be applied to any colours really. For blues you would probably use midnight blue or even regal blue. Enchanted and a nice blue with some white on top. With reds, scab red, blood red, blazing orange and then white again. So it can really be applied to many different colours depending on what you need.